frick budget.
This is good. The quality on this is great, man.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another 4K video inside the world of Vera with our Alpha 1 pretesting.
All right.
I'm joined by our amazing Luperza,
This is
Margaret
definitely
Crone.
an improvement.
Margaret, how you doing?
Hi, I'm excited.
Yay! Yeah, I noticed you're rocking the hairdo.
I know, this hairstyle is so cool. It's one of my faves.
I can't wait to see more of those. We also have Toast.
That's the dwarf.
Hello everyone, happy Friday.
Happy
Also,
Wait,
Friday.
she's playing as a dude.
Oh yeah, you got the
great.
beard going on.
She's playing as a.
I like the little beads.
I noticed you're not tiny
Wait,
Toast right now.
Maybe that is a female dwarf.
Yeah, apparently I already had a character.
Yeah, maybe
called
it is a
Tiny
female
Toast
dwarf.
here,
I
so
don't know.
switched it up.
But as you guys can see, we're here in the starting area for the Alpha 1 map, and we're just going to kind of take you through and show you some of the updates that are being made. I know that
Cool.
you know, we announced the
I do want to see the
delay
world.
in Alpha 1's NDA release. And there's good reason for that. You know, so some stuff that we found back in February, that in February's testing, that was problematic, and you know, you don't know you're going to find that stuff until you find it. So we took the better part of February and March, and we've actually fixed
I wonder
those
if that
things. You might
red
have seen
kit
some updates
underneath
about
them is an
that
aura.
on Reddit or in Discord, and we'll show off some
It's
stuff
like how
as we kind of
PoE
run
has
out. But let's
auras
take a look at the
underneath
new
characters.
starting area. I know
Like
it got
haste is green
some
and
tender
shit,
love
you know?
and care from the environment team.
He's targeted.
let's run
Oh,
around up here.
it's his
Oh,
target.
You know what? Don't we have mounts?
I see.
I have a mount. Do you have a mount?
Oh, what
I
the
do. I have a
fuck?
fox. Ooh, you guys have foxes too.
Vacuum cleaner going on.
Wow.
Where'd you guys get your foxes from?
You guys are all too close.
The cash shop.
Oh,
There you go.
we should. Oh, you know what? These
Those
foxes
are
have a
cool.
really cool effect on the sitting. We should line up and sit together at the same time.
Yeah, where are you?
Yeah, where'd you go?
That's toast.
Oh, we lose Toast. I see Toast.
No, I lost
I see.
Steven.
Oh,
All right, let's see how it is.
all right. Line up. Wait for it. Wait for it.
I love seeing him struggle to line
And
up. It makes
Sit. Aww.
wow.
Yeah, these
It's
are
like
a
every
great
guild-
mod. I think
guild picture
Jinxie worked
ever.
on this one, right?
Half of the struggle is just
It
getting
doesn't
his
have any
line
of the
dropped.
effects yet, though. So there's gonna be
Yeah,
some
we
like,
haven't done a VFX pass on this, but it should be pretty rad.
yeah, there's gonna be like fire and stuff.
Okay, that's badass.
Even more adorable than it is.
All right, so
Pretty
here we
much.
go, going around the
When we were
world.
designing this, I was like,
World looks nice.
Jenkins Myers, please, can I have two tails? That's why they let us put that in the design.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You can walk with yours. I'm pressing period.
I think one thing that New World has is they
I love
have
its
great
little walk.
like
It's just
weather
like what's going
effects and like lighting effects.
But as you guys can see, there's been some
If you add that
significant
into
lighting
this
changes
game,
here in this area.
holy
There's been
shit.
some work on the foliage, on the trees that are available. Toned down some of the ruins, rearranged some of the tents, and it's starting to look pretty good in this area. Oh, there's Sergeant Landry. It's just like how
Hope
we're
you got a
walking.
quest for us.
Sergeant Laundry.
You will always have a
Mr.
quest.
Laundry.
Mr. Laundry.
I
Yeah,
call
how
him
does this
Sergeant
work?
Laundry.
Okay, so just
He
walking
was our
around
first
chilling.
quest giver ever, so I think he'll always have a spot.
Ah, we've made it to the other side of
Okay.
Vera. Thank goodness we've arrived. I need to put to work immediately. What is your specialty? I am a channeler of life and death. What are you guys?
I'm a tank.
Let's see. Okay, it says to head down this old road, take a left, and you can't miss them. I will fight against these. What are
Oh
they?
shit! All
Innovated
right, they're gonna
armors?
actually do a quest.
You guys have seen this quest before.
All right, let's go.
Why don't we? You know, we should take them and show them one of the new
The
areas.
side walking animation's a little bit
Jeff's just
scuffed,
scrolling.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome.
Which one do you want to look at, Jeff?
like that.
Let's see. There's this.
It reminds
cool
me of the
Ooh.
Falcon guys
Looking really
in
good
Dark
right now.
Souls 2.
Okay, so like corruption.
Where they're walking
by
at you,
corruption, you mean that essentially, like some of the areas in Vera
Yeah.
obviously have significantly more influence of corruption, and you can kind of see that in the environment itself.
You guys
right?
played the game, you know what I mean.
What do you think of the art
Jeff
style,
was
Asmon?
saying earlier that his push attack is his dodge roll, so he keeps
I don't
doing
know,
that.
man.
Yeah,
It's
if you
hard
see
for
me
me to
dodging
really
around,
say
it's 'cause it's on
because like a
control.
lot of it is like kind
Well,
of
I
rudimentary.
apologize, Toast.
It's
Yeah,
not
Jeff,
fully
take us there.
finished.
We'll port to you.
Yeah.
I just
Alright,
care
let's
about what the
go.
in-game warrior armor looks like.
Yeah, well, it's like for me, it's like, you know, how it's gonna look exactly is
Yeah.
probably gonna change, but I think that the direction of the art style
almost
is
there.
I don't
Man,
see that
hang on.
changing too much.
It's all right. Like I'm fine with it, right? I mean, the
That
mounts
was
are
not a good
cool.
place.
The everything else is fine to me.
Sense of bad place.
Are you?
I got
Yeah,
some
fall
I was
to the
gonna say,
world.
like it just like looks like
a few
Guild Wars.
times. I
a
get
little bit,
fall
or
to
like
the world.
Yeah, yeah.
I love the lighting as I'm just waiting for you to
like
get to where you
I
need
don't
to
know if
be.
it like
I'm
really
kind of
stands
running.
out to me.
Racing Tusk.
This area is
She's
not like
cheating, she's
super
pushing me.
memorable. It's just a nice
We need
place.
some J.J. Abrams lens flare in this. I'm just kidding.
All right, I think I'm in a
Don't.
good spot now.
You like the,
Oh, really?
Oh
Okay.
yeah, the lens flare.
Like I feel like
Yeah, it's
WoW is a
cool.
lot more like.
All right, I'm gonna port to
It has a
you.
very distinct
So
style,
look
and
into
maybe
the
it's
light.
like.
Oh, it's way more
I'm just kinda
stylized.
used to that.
It makes it much more memorable.
Yeah.
All right, moving to Jeffers.
on my way. Oh no.
What the hell?
Oh no. Oh, not
oh,
like this.
they're playing
Oh, no.
WoW.
It's okay. Hold on.
I've had this happen
Let me
before.
try it again.
Yeah, this is great.
I made it.
Good.
I made it. I made it.
Look at that. Yeah, it's the same thing we've seen happen
So,
many
ladies
times.
and gentlemen, what you just saw there was under the world of Vera, there is a deep, dark place filled with water. No,
Water
It's
is
the
the
ocean.
ocean. Steven, you're going the wrong way.
oh, am I?
I think this
Yeah.
place
Oh,
looks a
sorry.
lot
Oh.
cooler, personally.
Toast is T-posed on her Vox.
Whoops.
might want to
Did I
dismount
find
now.
you guys? Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, I think
All
this
right,
place is cool.
where are we going? This doesn't look very corrupt. This looks
it's
nice.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd,
this does not look
lush,
corrupt.
lush,
I feel
lush.
lied to.
Jungle.
I'd build a house over here.
Okay, now what?
You might not. The property values are going to go down pretty
I
quick.
wonder how,
Uh-oh.
like, how you can build. Like, could you
What
just
you-
like build a
what you
house
value
randomly
in
right
your
here?
home.
I don't know.
So where are we going?
That'd be cool.
Follow Jeffers.
It's like a random fucking house somewhere.
Some of these plants.
Just people
are
walk by,
looking
you
a
just
little
shoot
sad.
them.
The tail movement, the tail animation is very
Sit in your
hypnotic.
fucking on your
whoa,
porch
what
and
is
just
this?
shoot people.
Lily.
Ah!
The perfect.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
Who's that?
Coming
Doesn't
for
like
us.
me.
No, she does not like you.
We should probably be in a party.
Oh yeah. we
Is she
should.
dead?
Rock, I just got his ass
Oh yeah, we
beat.
should be in a party. Hold on, let me invite you guys.
Okay.
Alright, I got Jeff. I got Toast.
Okay.
And I've got Luparza.
Yes. It is a me.
Now
Alright, where are we
what?
going? Oh, it looks like it's getting a little.
I can
Ooh,
see,
look
yeah.
at that.
It's kind of
This
a
area
So
region.
this is the
here,
corrupted
yeah.
area,
Kinda
I'm
love
assuming.
it.
So now, as things progress in the world, these corrupted areas dynamically evolve with the progression of nodes, yeah?
That's cool.
Yeah, all of our POIs and kind of just the world in general
that is
can
cool.
react to the node. We don't have to, but we can.
I like that.
And this is one of those places
It's like
where,
Emerald Nightmare.
as civilization grows,
It's not a
this
good
will
thing.
grow kind of in contest with it.
Oh my
Emerald
gosh.
Nightmare, that
So this
raid
is
made me
cool.
mad.
Are you over there killing stuff?
Oh, why are
Yeah.
you... Oh, you're green. I thought you were red. So you...
I'm just
the,
protecting you all.
the corruption on these tree assets is really cool. Like, you can see it's kind of has some crystalline formations, but it's also like affecting the
Those
ground.
veins. Yeah.
That's interesting. Ooh. Okay. It's getting a little darker as we move in. Oh yeah, this is creepy.
Okay.
I like the creepy vibe.
Now this
Into it.
area is still in still being actively worked on though, yeah.
Yeah, actively worked on. We
Let's
just had
do
to
some
check
combat.
in with Mia, who was doing this area last Monday, and she checked all this stuff in, so we're kind of looking at it and giving her
Yeah, I want to see
feedback.
some fucking combat.
Turn the
But we
HUD
still
up.
got a few more passes, and then I think we'll be done with this relatively soon.
Yeah, this is creepy.
And then once it's done, we'll do a population pass, and then that's kind of how we work towards getting stuff like this complete.
Oh, it looks great. I love the lighting and the effects around the base of the tree over here. That's kind of cool. It'd be fun as like
Also,
if you were
during all this, we're
proximity.
gonna see
What do you guys think
some
of the
other
aesthetics?
progress towards this, so it'll be interesting to see it in game versus
Yeah.
some of the screenshots we have.
If you like had some proximity check on this
That's
like
good.
tree, for example,
Yeah,
and, like
that's
as
alright, too.
players walked into the area and it started spawning like corrupt creatures, that'd be cool.
That'd be
Yeah,
very
I like
cool.
it.
Little like whips and chains come off the tree, like attack you and restrain you.
Oh, what's that noise?
Oh, my note.
As I said, like my only thing
It's
really
the corruption.
Oh,
is
we have
like
an
systems and
untextured.
combat.
We have an.
Systems and combat. That's what it's all about. Systems and combat.
As you guys will see, as we said, this area is in active development, so you see a little untextured rock
like
here.
that's the real gameplay.
The gray box text.
The gray box texture, yeah.
One of the things I love about this area is that like the whole like geometry of everything is off kilter, right? So it's like not only do things get pickier,
Yeah.
but they also just start feeling wrong. It's pretty cool.
Very Torn Earth-esque.
Like the Earth is trying to.
I actually
Feed
really
itself.
like how this area.
Oh my
looks.
god.
Me too. I like the walk.
Walking
It's cool.
on
like it.
sunshine. Hey.
We worked on.
Oh, it
you
looks
see
great.
trees,
Oh, look at that.
Ground throb
Is that a
There's
dungeon?
some dungeon up
Yeah, I
here.
want to see if that's a dungeon.
and pulse.
Ooh, it's getting redder the deeper we go in. Ooh, another untextured rock.
Expecting a big boss over here.
Oh, there's like some creepy gate over here. Oh, okay. Wow, look at the. I love the rocks and the lighting.
The
Looking
real
good.
question is, what was this?
Oh, there's some
Okay.
weird creature.
Uh-oh.
There's a suffering wanderer.
All right,
We
let's
should
see
kill
this. All right, is this gonna be some combat?
Hold on, let me turn my HUD back on.
Is this gonna be some
Well, it's
fucking
suffering. We
combat?
should
I
put
want
it
to
out
see
of
it.
its misery, you know? Oh, let me see
Let's
if I can.
go.
Oh, it
Dude,
walks
fun
all weird.
combat.
No!
Oh,
Okay.
Get it!
Okay. Okay.
What does it do?
I don't like the numbers. I think like the WoW and New World numbers are way better.
Big one over there.
Oh,
effects are all right, though.
yeah, look at that.
Feels good.
What do we got?
What do you think of the animations?
Okay, what about this dude?
They're all right. They're a little bit stilted, but
he
they're all right.
looks harder.
I think
It's
it's a little
definitely
much.
harder.
Let me try to pull.
Also, I don't know if
I
I
mean,
saw
we should-
screen shake.
if it-
Yeah,
if
maybe
it
he was
started
moving
to-
his mouse, but
well,
it looked like there was like
let's see.
screen
Yeah.
shake whenever that fireball hit the
Hold
ground.
on.
Okay, so it's like a boss,
Get
I'm assuming,
off our
right?
world!
So what does he do?
Yeah, he's gonna be. He's gonna
Oh my
be.
gosh,
He's
look
gonna take a
Yo,
while.
this guy's got a lot of health. What the fuck?
No.
God
No.
damn.
Okay, you guys have seen this
Yeah,
one.
that's
Though.
funny, I was watching,
Let's
Fuck
run.
that,
Let's
dude.
run. Let's go over.
Yeah, he's-
Let's go
What's
outside
up with
again.
that?
You know, something that was cool.
And the animations for like fireball.
that-
and frost-
Players,
Yeah,
you know,
they're, like,
outside
very
of Alpha
dazzling.
I
1
might have to
testers.
sacrifice
yeah.
myself.
No, I would just run.
I'ma keep
Jump
you
on the
alive.
fox and jump.
Okay.
I want to talk over him if he's talking about
Um,
something.
I'm
Yeah,
ready.
yeah.
Something that was cool that we did a couple weeks ago, and I posted on it on Twitter, and then I think somebody put it on Reddit as well. But I accidentally summoned 5,000. It was really an accident, honestly. I
Yeah, I
summoned
wanna see
5,000
these
bears. But the cool thing that happened was is that our server didn't.
I'm gonna be
crash.
honest. I want to
Which
see
is-
these. I want to see
these
the
are
fucking
actual
bear attack.
NPCs with behavior
That's what I'm
trees and a
about.
blackboard and AI component. And even though it wasn't good on the rendering side, the cool test was that the server was still operating at above 10 FPS, which is good. And those
Okay,
are
here we
processing
go.
frames, not rendering frames. But maybe we find an open little area over here. We can summon some of these just to show you guys.
Another
Like,
5,000.
no. I don't know. Oh, somebody's flying.
50.
What the
How'd you
fuck?
do that? Oh my God, you're all flying. That was
I'm not
cool.
flying.
No, you're
That's
not.
what's nice being a
That
GM.
one's flying on
Yeah.
my screen.
Oh, okay. It looked like you guys
Maybe
like flew in.
server, like,
I think it'd be
Yeah.
kind of cool if like the
All right.
mount would like
Let
ride
me-
off your
Let me
screen
show you guys. So,
and disappear.
big part of obviously of
than
our
just, like,
testing
despawn.
is automation. We have bots that we play with. We have
That'd be cool. I
actual
think.
testers that jump in, the Alpha 1 testers, and then we also can summon bears. Let me summon some bears.
Hi, bears.
pretty.
Okay.
So,
Oh, that is the
5,000.
bear.
No,
All right.
just 10. I just wanted to show how
Can they kill the bear?
The 10 of them appear.
Please kill the bear.
And
Please kill
we
the
summon
fucking
some.
bear.
Yeah, you can kill one. Here, go ahead.
Yeah, they have behaviors.
Yeah.
So
That actually
Oh,
looked
that
good.
guy was easy to kill.
Like that looked
There
good.
you go.
fairly easy.
Yeah, we're
Well,
level
yeah,
10
that
for
would
this
good.
Level 1 boys.
All right, here, let me
Okay.
summon a few more.
Yeah, that was all right.
To find a few.
I'm going to summon 100 now.
Stop killing bears. Yeah.
Oh, no! Oh, I don't know if we can actually. They're aggroing.
Oh,
Run! Flee!
what the fuck?
Okay, wait, let me summon a few more.
Just AOE farm them.
Oh my, wait, they're loading in. Oh no! I summoned 1,000!
Real fast.
What
summoned
the
1,000!
fuck?
Ah!
I don't even know.
I can't even get out of here!
Just AOE them down.
So you're seeing, there's 1,000 bears that my
AOE down
computer's
the-
rendering
AOE down
right
the
now
bears.
at 4K. My frames are dropping a little bit.
I like how
but,
he spawns them on his friends
on
and
the
he runs
server,
away.
They're all still
the first thing he
acting
does
and
is fucking
reacting.
run away.
Oh my gosh! And I'm dead.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for that.
Oh no! Let me
It looked like
respawn.
an
Look at the
AQ
map.
launch.
Yeah, I see the map.
Let me come back and I'll summon a few more thousand.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
Jeff, it looks like you're dying.
I'm taking care of the bears.
Yeah, we're
No,
just.
they took over me.
I'm trying to stay near Toast.
Yeah, they're
Protect the
dead.
Toast.
They're 100%
Oh,
dead.
Jeff. Oh no. I spawned pretty far away from you guys though.
AQ launch, yeah.
To us.
But you know, I think we could talk a little bit more obviously about this on stream. It's getting, what time is it? Oh no, we have the stream in 45 minutes. so we'll talk a little bit more about testing automation. Hope you guys enjoyed a little look again inside of Vera. Obviously, we're going to be showing a lot more as testing continues forward and, you know, leading up to the NDA release.
That's cool.
But we will see you guys back on
That's
stream.
cool. Yeah, that's all right.
See ya, everybody.
Bye.
It was laggy as shit, but like, I mean, if you spawn 1,000 entities, it's
Yeah,
kind
I
of
really
what
like seeing
We'll just play
development
the
updates
video
like
on the
that.
side.
Yeah,
while
yeah,
we
it's
switch.
kind of funny.
Very like
to
grassroots.
see. Reminds me of like the
Steven's putting
original
the
lab
bears
beta
on us.
and the
I know.
screenshots.
Yeah, so
from
as
it.
you guys
got out
saw,
of there alive.
Nice. It
Usually
was
my
a
friends
bit
like that. I don't know,
Eldero.
there's something cool about it.
I love the bear
Pretty natural.
But as
Yeah.
you guys saw at the end there, you know, those are actual NPCs, 1,000 plus of them, and you know we can even get it higher at at the stage that we're at right now. That is a very significant achievement, particularly in Unreal Engine 4 for an MMORPG. You know that's a pretty big achievement. So big kudos to the Intrepid team on getting the server able to handle that, especially in the testing. At when we had the 5,000 bears, we also had hundreds of players as well in the area, and we were still operating at a.
That's what I'm
performant
pretty
server
impressed
side.
by.
So
If they
that
can
was-
pull
that was
off
very
those
cool to
large
see.
scale sieges, that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
That's one thing
Is
I
there
really
anything else you
want
guys
to
want
see.
to talk about on that front? But of course, I know we also want to talk a little bit more about our progress towards Alpha 1 on other ends. I know, Jeff, your team has definitely been working on
Well, they
different
won't.
systems
We'll see.
and all kinds of combat. I know combat is
see.
one of the things that people are most curious about
Yeah.
because I know there's going to be
Oh, yeah.
some massive changes coming to combat.
Good to hear.
Yeah, combat's a big push for us right now. What will actually be shown in Alpha 1 is a little bit in flux. We're trying to, we basically have gotten a brand new tool that allows us to author abilities both faster and then also have those abilities act more responsively than the system that we're using right now. So the connection between your character and what your character is doing is going to feel a lot better once we make this conversion, especially when it comes to all the abilities. Then on top of that, we've got a whole separate branch of combat prototype things that we're trying. And we're going to be playtesting those internally to see how they feel and kind of get a sense of what we want to bring over to the live game. So there's a bunch of like weird stuff, cool stuff, awesome stuff that we're all just trying out, throwing on the wall to see if it works. And for the things that do work and that the people who are playtesting it give like, hey, this is really fun, I really like this, we'll incorporate that into what's going on with the live game, and then that'll kind of make it live. And sort of as that feedback rolls through, that's going to be kind of gauge like the rate at which we get it into the test. So not entirely sure exactly how much of that will make it in. It's possible that everybody hates everything we've done and then none of it goes through. So it just depends on kind
That's
of
a
where
possibility.
we're at, and kind of the feedback that we get. So that's kind of where we're at on the combat side.
Yeah. And it's
combat's
important
gonna
to
be
note,
really hard to nail
as
down.
we kind of introduce these new combat,
Yeah, combat's very hard to nail down.
components. All of that's going to be
Making the
tested and
numbers
collecting
feel good
feedback
whenever
for
you
that. And
do
as Jeff said,
damage.
some might make through,
Like,
some
New
might
World
not,
does that
might
well.
not. But the
Like, you
important
hit
thing
something,
is,
it's like,
we understand the absolute importance
So you
of
have to have-
combat because it is the most tactile and interface
have to have
thing
that.
you do as a player in the game, right? It is relevant and everywhere. So the great thing that what we're doing is we're incorporating you guys as the community as part of that feedback system, so that
Yeah.
we can continue to cater and
We're unpaid
and adjust
interns.
what needs to be adjusted. So you're not going to see just a full thrown combat system. Oh, this is a brand new combat system, and everything's there. It's going to be rolled out little by little. You're going to see these things get implemented little by little. You're going to have an opportunity to kind of provide feedback on that front.
Good.
Yeah, it's like Steven said, like this is the thing most people touch the most often, and it really needs to feel good, and it's a big thing that I care a lot about. And so we're going to spend a lot of time doing it. It's not going to come out of the box
So
perfect,
true and real.
but it should be a pretty big improvement. And then we'll continue to make continual refinements as we move forward. We've got a long way to go there, And then there's a lot of other things that kind of depend on that too. So the quicker we find those answers, the better for our project.
Absolutely. And then some other stuff that you guys saw in here. Obviously, the world is constantly being updated. It is constantly being moved forward. You can just see that in looking back, in the videos we've had over the last couple of years of the game, that things are always changing. So you're going to continue to see that even, as soon as next month. Was next month? Was April? We're still in March right now.
Yeah.
So you're going to see that, as we continue to show footage next month, and in May when we drop the NDA, you're going to see a lot of these areas get some cool updates and some changes incorporated.
And then we're also just working on a ton of content, like you saw in the video. There's a kind of redone that whole starting area where that portal is. And the entire population of that area was going to shift a little bit. It's going to be kind of similar, but we're adding a bunch of new quests and probably some internal dungeon spaces in that area. And so it should be, there's going to be a lot more content for folks to kind of participate in that part of it. We want that first experience to be a little bit better than what it is right now, and get people their feet wet. We've had a lot of people who've been playing the game kind of understand how it works, but there's going to be a lot of new people who haven't ever touched it, so we want to make sure that their experience is pretty smooth.
The combat is really what matters.
It's still alpha, and there's going to be a lot of
like the combat is really what it comes down to.
And just
more
to give
than
even a little bit more context, real quick,
combat needs to be better.
With regards to the bears,
that's the main thing.
Those bears
and
what they're doing kind of on the server, that's a lot of traffic and processes that are being computed. Like these bears, they have behavior state changes, they have hate lists, they have aggros, they need to replicate their position, they need to understand all the player positions, they have ability casts that they do with their attacks, they're doing damage, that's going to step back forth. I mean, this is a lot of information that is being had on the server side. So while what you're seeing now, it looked a little bit rough, there's a considerable amount of time for us to fine-tune and optimize that even further. The fact, though, that at this stage, the numbers we're seeing and are able to accomplish, that bodes very well for the types of battles that we want to have in the future, the types of concurrencies, the types of, just putting that massive back into massively multiplayer. These are the things that we strive for on a technical side, because from a design point of view, these are the types of encounters we want players to be able to experience, and not have to be segregated out into just 100 player chunks, right? That I think
like
is
layers
be a very
or
fun,
whatever.
A fun aspect of Ashes.
That's a huge aspect of it.
Yeah, I mean,
agree with that.
it's pretty awesome to see that, like from my perspective, right? I don't think I've ever been a part of a game that has been able to do something like that. It's not just server optimization, but it's network optimization as well, right?
How do you think the water
There's
looks?
a lot of stuff that goes into
Water's
making
fine.
1,000
Nothing like
characters
amazing
on the
or
screen
special, but it's fine.
Work like that
It's
in
just
MMO
like,
contests.
kinda like
It's a little bit
generic.
different when it's just a client-side single-player game, but when you're talking about a game that is server authoritative and all that stuff is running on the server, like that's really cool to see happen, like to see it live. It's when I saw the bear event, like my mind was blown. I did not think that we'd be able to do something like that, especially at this stage of the game. So it's pretty awesome.
And there have been people asking questions in regards to the content that you're talking about. Will there be dungeons and raids and things of that sort for them to test in alpha as well?
I mean, there'll be some, right?
Yeah, I'm curious about that.
It's not going to be a full, world experience. We have, I think, something on the order of like 6 or 7 dungeons.
Okay.
One of them is
That's good.
what I would call like semi-raid level. You could probably roll through with less than that, just given the tuning on it. We've got one world boss that is going to be
that's
raid
good.
level, so it's a true 40-person raid boss, and it's probably going to be pretty challenging to defeat. I'm not sure if it will be defeated during this alpha.
We're going to
but we'll
defeat
see.
it. I guarantee
There's a
you.
couple of world
100%.
bosses which are kind of party level.
Yep.
So there will be a dungeon experience. There will be kind of a raid-ish experience, but all that stuff takes a lot of time to really tune out and make. And so we've got a handful of those things, but not like a full world of that yet.
I really want
Yeah,
to
and just
see
to touch on
dungeons
that a little
soon.
bit further.
Yeah, me too.
I know that in the past,
Realistically,
I
it
said
could
I
be
was
frickin'
going to be
months.
considering opening up Alpha 1 sales again if we hit a certain level of achievement that I was waiting for. It is looking very good that that's going to be the case here over the next month. We're going to evaluate internally, but with the testing that was done over the past couple of weeks, I am very, very happy to see where we've gotten to overcome those February obstacles. And we'll be considering opening Alpha 1 sales again. And essentially, when we talk about what this experience for Alpha 1 is going to be, that month-long experience, it is not intended to be a content experience. I just want to make sure I preface this for anybody who's considering, right, if when we do open up Alpha 1 again, participating, you essentially are a tester. You're like a QA tester. You're jumping in here. You're giving us the data that we need. You're providing us with warm bodies to kind of run through and give us a
we're gonna stress test the servers whenever we play this game.
Underside, making sure
like
that
we're gonna go crazy.
we're hitting the beats we need to hit. It is not intended to be a game experience. It is not intended to be a fully fledged content experience. So keep that in mind. You're really
it's a beta test.
The alpha testers we have now are putting up with a lot, and we are super appreciative of them. I mean, as a studio, as a project, as a game, you guys as a community should be really appreciative of the work that they're doing too, because it is instrumental in us being able to fine-tune what needs to be fine-tuned, in finding the issues earlier rather than later. That's a very important piece of the puzzle. So just keep that in mind.
Community can break the
fair,
servers. There's only going to be so many people allowed in.
Yeah, it's like we're putting enough content.
So
to,
I mean,
like
if we got everybody on, yeah,
for you
probably.
Guys to do while you're testing, but it's not a
not
focus.
on the beta.
It's not. We don't
It's
expect you to be
only.
testing the content outside of does the content function, right?
Right.
And that's sort of kind of what it's there for. It's there to give you guys something to do, to occupy yourselves while you are doing that testing, but not too many steps further than that.
Absolutely.
And I think the other question that I see often in regards to Alpha 1 is about artisan stuff and harvesting and things.
Yeah, the
things on the
crafting.
crafting end.
People care about that a lot.
What kind of things they'll get to experience in Alpha 1 in regards to that.
Yeah.
So that's super rudimentary. The crafting system is a huge system. Excuse me. I mean, it incorporates more than just crafting, right? It's economic and resource and gathering, the processing systems that touch all the building components and the freehold systems and those blueprints, and then there's the crafting recipes and the crafting stations that are tied into the node system. That's a very large system. Probably 90% of that is not online in Alpha 1. The core basics
That's going to
of
be
what
amazing if they get that
represents as a
online for the
gameplay
release.
Loop, that is represented. So that means that there are gatherables
Yeah,
out there.
I don't
You
know.
have to have tools in order to service those gatherables. There will be processing that's necessary.
That's a
and
lot.
Then there's crafting stations that are available and can be constructed by the players. This is an Alpha 1. You have to collect the recipes, you have to collect the materials, and you have to refine the materials, and then you have to create the reagents, and then use those to kind of create the final crafting component that you're trying to create. So that in and of itself is present. But it is a very, very small piece of really what will be the larger crafting puzzle for Alpha 2 and betas.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about. I think
Anything else you wanna add on that
the
front,
text that pops up is
I would
really
say kind of similarly, the economy is not
doesn't look
really
good.
ready to go yet, right? We have an economy, but it's not really going to be reflective
oversaturated,
of the
I think.
final, how the economy is going to work. It'll work for Alpha 1, and there'll be plenty of things to trade and buy and exchange, but it's not going to be really super representative of what the final state is. So keep that in mind as well. It's a stubbed-in system. It's not a complete or really finalized system at all.
Yeah, speaking of economy, kind of bringing that into the node system, I know we've also had a lot of questions in regards to Alpha 1 and how far they'll be able to progress a node and the process of that, how far along
assume
that's
probably
going to be
not
for
all the
them
way.
when they're testing that.
If I had to guess.
So nodes during Alpha 1 will be capable of advancing to Stage 3. That's the village stage. That's when the government systems come online. It's when the building capabilities are now available and people can purchase homes, and there's some societies, and all the quest hooks are available through the different stages. These are actively collecting experience currently from players. They're going to represent the right culture when they do propagate. All those systems are available, and I think there's, between 12 and 14 maybe nodes, or maybe we cut that down to 9. I'm not sure, but
That's
there's
a lot.
around
That is a
9.
lot,
Okay, there's 9
especially
nodes
if
that are
they're
gonna
all
be available
unique.
across across the Alpha 1 experience, and each of them are going to be relevant for the different POIs that are placed across the world. There's a basic vassal system that's in place for those node systems. That's kind of the experience behind Alpha 1. Now, as we move forward, right, that core tech does facilitate going up additional stages, to stage 4, 5, 6, and really that becomes just an asset game, how and a content game really, how we service those additional node structures with additional POIs, with additional content and quest lines, with additional quest hooks, how we propagate the town, city, and metropolis style buildings and additional plots of land and whatnot, but in Alpha 1 it's delegated just to up to stage 3.
Awesome. Is there anything else y'all want to talk about? I know we could talk forever, but we do have some other segments we need to get to as well.
Yeah, I think that that about covers it, right?
All right. Let's move on along. See what else we
It's
have.
going to be a big area.
Moving on.
I know we said that it's not content focused, but there's a ton of content out there. So
Okay. Okay.
It's true. And the design team's doing a great job. Bucky, Aimee, Chang, Taylor, Trad, Chris, Brian, Jeff, all of you guys are doing an awesome job on the content front, so keep up the great work.
Oh no,
Thank you,
Stephen, you
Sarah.
started saying the names and you got to say them all.
I know, I forgot Doug. Doug just joined as well.
Yeah.
And Corey as well. I gotta grab them all.
All right, from there, obviously we've been showing off a lot of the environment stuff, but we are going to show off some of the environment things that they sent my way that they wanted to share with you all.
Okay, here we
So
go.
first up, we have a
That
couple
looks
different
nice.
objects that they
put
have
somebody
been
in
working
that?
on. Got a nice pile of bones there.
Okay.
Oh wow, that's
Probably
dark.
next to the bears.
We went with I don't know if that first thing was a cage. It kind of looked like a cage.
Yeah.
And then we have bones.
Reminds me of the
I
cages
know
in
there's a
Bloodborne.
couple different building structures, and
That's
some of
cool.
these you've seen
Looks
in
like,
the concept art that I showed
looks like
in
Orgrimmar.
previous months.
Looks great.
Um,
Damn.
so you might
wow.
recognize them. They've been doing a really great
Yeah, it
job.
looks
of
just like
making-
Orgrimmar.
I think Jeff mentioned this in our previous dev update. Was that when you look at the concept art
wow.
versus the actual in-game,
That's the
it's
Cataclysm
almost
update of
a
Orgrimmar.
replica.
Damn.
It's crazy. Yeah.
That's really
so
really
these
big.
are all examples of Slayborn architecture. Those are the corrupted bird people.
Okay.
I think we've referenced a long time ago in some of our older live streams, and that's one of the tribes called the Satari.
And then we're going into these like wrecked ship.
The ships are cool.
Pieces.
I like the
Yeah, I'm
ships.
hoping next month we'll show off some of the shipwreck / pirate cove / water areas.
I want to see that
after it
actually.
gets-
The water
after it gets the
areas I'm
touch-up
really
from
interested
the
in.
water shader
Everybody's
lighting.
excited about the Pirate Cove.
I know.
Like, it is
Yeah.
really cool.
Speaking of which, we do have some pirate stuff that we're going to show off.
Oh.
Moving on over here, we have
nice.
some location.
Looks very nice. It's a very good place to
Updates.
put a dragon
You can
potentially.
see some of the terrain that
Or
they've
a
been
giant
working
frost
on, and
giant.
some different plants, grassy lands.
So
the
you can see
mountains
those are
associated
all
with it.
the portal revamp area. So this is all, if you could picture the ruins, it might, oh, that's different now.
Yeah, now
Sorry,
it's
I'm like
going
15
to the,
seconds behind.
Yeah, now it's going to the cove stuff. Yeah.
Did it freeze?
And
Oh,
we'll
never mind.
actually have a fly-through video of the pirate dock POI.
That's cool. It actually reminds me of
But you can
the
see
cities
light
in New World.
shining through the trees.
There's a few cities in
these
New World that
buildings.
look pretty much just
Little-
like
a
that,
little
actually.
town, a little village.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I love the work environment does. It's just, just keeps getting better.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I want to see.
I can't wait to see
let's get
when
some
we have different
gameplay.
festivals and stuff too, decorating all the
Yeah,
the
let's get
towns.
some
And obviously
fucking
this is one
gameplay in
that we
this.
saw, which is a work in progress.
Some popping off,
This is
sailing
the
around.
area that we saw in game.
All right, let's go to the next one.
Yeah, the corruption. So that's a cool component, obviously, of how the world kind of reacts and changes to the nodes. You kind of see these intrusions of corruption beginning to pervert and infest the lands. And these are obviously going to be sources by which NPC events kind of are driven based on player progression within the world. You know, these sources of evil need
How far
to
is
be
the
addressed by
release?
the players.
It's probably
going
going to be out in like a year and a half, realistically.
Yep, as the world
Maybe
levels
2
up,
years.
or as the players level up, the
Somewhere
world
around
levels
there.
up around them.
And this is a little fly through.
That's where I would guess.
The engine.
2+, maybe 3. You guys think
of
3?
the pirate
I think probably a
POI
year and a half, 2 years.
Dock POI area.
Until
Not
the game comes out.
caves. I think that's the part that Jeff
Yeah,
is
this is
excited to
different
show
from the
you.
Cove. This is actually dynamic POI. This one will
Okay.
evolve as players evolve the node that it's attached to. So this is kind of its final state. But
Yeah, I mean that's one of the cool, you know, core functions of these points of interest across the world is that dynamic level up, right? As the world grows, these points of interest grow.
I really like the
additional,
dock there. That looks really cool.
Additional buildings will spawn.
That looks
additional
badass.
Monsters and
do you guys think about
leaders
that?
and quest hooks. You know, all of these things start to grow with the world, and that's part of, you know, our trying to achieve that living, breathing,
Yeah,
you know,
this looks
buzzwords
okay.
that have been used in the past, but really haven't quite been, I think, realized in a lot of our experiences as players. You know, it creates obviously a lot of content, and that's
it's
kind
hard.
of
It's really hard to do.
it's very hard, but you know, the philosophy I think that we hold is the more sandbox elements you provide players, the more choice, the more impact they
content
have
they
over
have.
the world. Really,
Yeah, that looks
that
really
is
nice.
a direct correlation to the amount of content that has to be then presented back to the player, because there's no point in opening a door if there's nothing behind the door. You have to have, if you're going to provide multiple doors to the players, you got to have multiple things behind the doors. So you know, that's obviously part of our big task, our big job. A lot of pressure on the design team, on the art teams, you know, to surface that content. But I think what it creates is a very compelling, immersive, and reactive world that many of us can lose a lot of time in.
And I think sometimes you guys see a lot of art, and you don't get to see a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff that like the design team is working on, the engineering team is working on. I feel bad because the engineering team sent me some stuff that they wanted to share, but I'm like, that's not really stuff we want to show people because, you know, we have to think about security too.
Yeah, I don't want hackers.
So I think like that's the other side of it too, is that, you know, you don't get to see the behind the scenes of how the systems are created and like necessarily the little tiny bits on that front for security purposes. You know, we try to show it once.
Animations need a big
in
overall, very
more
outdated.
like
I think animations could be better.
user-facing way is the best way to
I agree with
explain
that.
it. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's important to note that from a visual standpoint, everything you ever see that we show you in game has code and engineers behind the screen.
Yes. And I think someone in
we
chat
couldn't
had
do it
asked about
without
like
them.
Yeah.
optimization, and that goes into everything that we're doing.
Yeah,
right?
whenever there's like
it's
a lot of
constantly
people in
something
the
that we're
area,
worrying
that's
about
what I'm
is
curious
optimization and
about.
performance.
Like, what happens whenever you have
Yeah,
like
this game
50
will
people
live or
there?
die based on its optimization.
200 people there.
And,
Yeah.
and we are making great strides on that already, and that's obviously the purpose of us incorporating you guys into the testing, you know, as early as possible, even when it's not in that state that is representative of what people might be accustomed to from other projects. With Alpha, it's because that optimization, that vetting of our technology is very integral to our design philosophy as well, right? We want to have those massive engagements. We need to start optimizing and testing as early as possible.
All right. Going to move on to our character stuff, unless you guys have anything else you want to add
Okay,
on
this is
environment.
what I'm kind
Our
of
environment team,
interested
we
in
love
too.
you. You're amazing.
If this is
all
like
of you.
character
really do.
customization, etc.
All right, moving on to character. So you may have seen the Harvest Guard before. This was our November 2019 costume, and then the Still Soul plate, which was December 2020, I think.
That looks good. So let's go.
Yeah,
Let's
so
go.
they
Whoa, whoa,
really
whoa.
Oh my
Let's
gosh,
go
this is the
back.
first time I'm
Progression.
Let's go back to
feeling
the other
the
armor.
Wait,
Steel Soul.
show me this.
Yeah,
Steel
I want
Soul,
to.
was it?
Yeah, all right.
It's in the run of show too.
That's great.
Oh,
I put all the images there so you don't have to watch them live.
Okay, I gotta look at that
got
later.
it. I feel like we just ran past it though, like it was up for a second.
What is this?
It's
Yeah, this looks really
it's like
nice.
what do you call it?
Sure. This is the armor that I
slideshow.
would want for
Oh,
my
there we
character
go.
right here.
Wow, that's looking good.
It's badass.
It's not even done, so these are all
no, that's
work
a
in
work in
progress.
progress. Yeah, it looks good.
Right.
Very cool.
And then we have a turntable of the Valoon plates
Mm-hmm.
as well.
That's nice.
Nice.
I mean, but if it's not like gigantic, fucking massive Steppenwolf armor, yeah,
Thank
it's
you for
whatever.
your
To,
shield.
it's whatever to me. Like, let's
Now,
get back
this
to the
is an
massive
in-game
armor sets.
achievable.
The massive fucking armor sets. Let's go.
Set.
Yeah,
This
it's a
was
progression
this
plate.
one.
That belly though.
This is a
Yeah.
progression plate. So this was not a cosmetic. This is in-game level 10 through 20, I believe.
Uh-huh.
Right, Jeff?
Well, 10, 15, I think.
Level 10
yeah.
15, yeah.
I like the
level
realistic
10 to
armor.
15.
Yeah, I
this
know a lot
is
of people
an
do.
example of some plate armor that players can achieve inside the game. Just to give you guys comparisons at those tiers.
All right. And we have some creatures from our lovely character team. Got this little eyeball beholder,
What the fuck?
the little tiny eyeballs on the back.
That's actually
He's
cool.
Anybody
not
who
a
doesn't like
beholder.
I like
eyeballs
that,
is not
yeah.
gonna
It
enjoy
was
this.
disgusting.
Yo, that's
don't
actually
say the
cool.
B
I
word.
like
Say
it.
the B
Damn.
word. That's
What do you guys think about
D&D
that?
thing.
I know.
But
Well,
he's
That's
a,
cool.
he's a different thing, right? He's like a
Seer.
weird tadpole seer, a watcher.
You can see into your mind.
Yeah, creepy. And then we've got this one, which I don't even know what this thing is, but I love it.
So that's a
That
big
looks like-
dude. And
Yeah, it looks like
the
he's
idea-
like huge.
It's a really big dude. And the idea behind him
Is that like a world
is
boss
you're
or
gonna
some shit?
see, big monsters.
Yeah.
I think the character comes up to like his elbow, maybe, or just beneath the elbow.
Damn.
I'm not sure, but
That's a
you're gonna
big
see
boy.
these big elites kind of just roaming and wandering through the world, right?
Good.
They're not assigned
Like Fell
to
Reavers.
any particular hunting ground.
It's
They
exactly
just
what
kind
we
of,
want.
They just kind of roam. And
Good.
I think that component is pretty cool,
Very good.
especially when you have an open world, right, where you can see something unique that's not matching kind of the monsters you're hunting in a certain area, but just strolls by, and you're like, gotta call your friends and like, oh my god, let's get this thing,
And then you don't.
and then you don't.
It's sick. I'm excited to be able to use this body structure too. It's cool.
I wonder if you can ride him as a
Very
mount.
neat.
That'd
I
be
can't wait till we
fucking
fight it.
insane. Maybe like a
I'm
smaller
sure
one
Jeff's
as a
team
mount.
is the most excited.
I
'cause you
always
guys
want to
get
see. I always want to know
make
what
the
kind of
BI
mounts
for
they
all
have
of
in
them,
all
pretty
these
much.
games.
Yeah, the whole
can?
process
Oh,
of
that'd be
making an
badass.
NPC is a lot of fun. There's a lot of fun design work that goes into it.
Maybe
So
we could show
this is like
the
stage one.
maybe we can show like the
Uh-huh.
progress. Do like a video on that, like of the creation.
It
of a
would.
creature.
We could try, yeah. The problem is a lot of that stuff happens like on in a Word document, right? So
Yeah.
we kind of like go back and forth, like, oh, this would be cool. Oh, we can't do that because it's going to cost too much, and like so there's a whole lot of back and forth in that. It might be fun to do that once we get back in the office. We could have like a conversation about like
Recording a
we'll do
brainstorm
the whole
thing.
design process of an NPC on paper, and that would be
Yeah.
kind of fun, maybe.
Okay.
I know we want to do the Dev Diary series again, but that kind of
As I said,
required
I've
us
never
to all be
really,
together.
I've never really
So that
been
would definitely be
interested
something
in
that would
game
be part
dev.
of a Dev Diary series.
I'm just
when
interested
we're back
in
in
the
the
game.
office, we'll try to bring those back.
I've always just
'cause I
been
definitely
interested
think
in the straight up
they
game.
Let you have a better understanding of how things are created in the
for sure.
world. And if you haven't
I
seen
never
those,
really
definitely go
wanted
check
to
them out.
make a
They're over
game.
on our YouTube channel. There's
I just
actually a
wanna- I
playlist
wanna
with
play
all
it
of the
and get
Dev
mad
Diaries
about it.
currently.
That's all.
Even including our node system and buildings, how we create weapons, and all kinds of stuff. So go check that out. All right, and now I think we're going to move on to our Q&A.
Okay, here's the questions. Let's see what
Unless
they
y'all
have
have
to
something
say.
else you want to mention? No? All right,
Q
let's
and
do
A,
it.
Q and A.
Q&A. All right. Our first question is from Lialani or Lialani.
Okay.
I apologize if I say anyone's names wrong. This is from the forums, and this is about cameras. How do you plan to balance the action camera to make it as viable as tab, which often offers more control over visibility, such as looking behind you?
That's true. That's a good question. That's a very good question.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I think the way we
Yeah, that's
tackle
a
that
really
is
good question.
The easiness of switching back and forth, but essentially, I mean, the definition of an action camera is that it's tied to the directional of your
To the
reticle,
attack,
right?
yeah.
So there's components that we have applied, like such as how to deploy templated AoE attacks and having that work off of your cursor or your reticle for ease. You can vary out the zoom distance even when you're in action mode, and that'll give you a broader surveillance of the area around you. But essentially, that camera movement in action mode is going to be tied to the reticle center screen, and if you want to be able to kind of look in different areas, there's going to be two options. Either you can switch back to
I don't
a
know
tab
how I feel
target
about the action
camera position.
Yeah, I don't know
Or
either.
there'll likely
I think
be
it just depends.
a hotkey that you can
Like
hold,
WoW already has some action
and when
abilities.
release, it'll snap back to the
Yeah.
action camera. But when you hold it down, it'll give you free camera movement that we might employ. I don't know, Jeff. You
Yeah.
have other thoughts on that?
No, I was actually just going to say that in PlanetSide we did something really similar where you had that reverse
I just
look
feel like somebody
camera,
runs across it. It's
and
crazy.
that was something that you could do. Also,
Yeah.
just the way in which tab targeted stuff and action stuff will play a little bit differently, and they'll have different strengths and weaknesses, right? It's probably not going to be a one-to-one like all the advantages of tab are going to be all the advantages that an action person has, right? They'll be a little bit different. They'll be a little bit asynchronous, and the hope is that those two things together we can balance and that kind of people can play their own way. And with those strengths and weaknesses, they kind of even out. That's the hope at the end of the day.
All right. Moving on to our next question, we have from MicMacMuck on the forums, wants to know about apartments. What happens to the stuff I have in storage in my apartment if the mayor decides to destroy the apartment building?
Oh wow, so this is a real life question. I like
All
that.
stuff
Yeah,
should
it's a
get
real
mailed
life
to you.
question.
And you
Yeah.
can save out your layout too, so that should
You get
all
evicted.
be relatively seamless and not super painful. Be a little bit painful. You should
Yeah.
probably be mad at your mayor for that, but
Yeah. I was
Maybe you
about to
should vote them
say.
out. Vote for a new mayor. All right, our next question is from Talents and Chaos Factor, and they want to know about legendary equipment. Roughly how much
Yes.
stronger might we
Yes.
expect legendary equipment to be over the rarity tier beneath it?
that's a thing we still have to answer, right? Once we start playing with the actual numbers, we'll get to something. It probably won't be. They will function as best in slot, or they might do things that other weapons just don't. Right? You can't roll that on any other thing, and it might give you an advantage that way. There's a lot of different ways we want to play with it, but at the end of the day, there still needs to be, because it's a PvP game, a little bit of parity, or not parity, but it's not going to be explosive, right?
Yeah.
It'll give you an advantage, but it's not going to be. Shouldn't necessarily.
It doesn't
be
define
a
the game,
changer.
which makes sense.
Yeah,
I mean,
would
that
say
does make sense.
Generally, and
Of course.
we don't want to hold to these numbers because it's highly dependent on testing and balance passes that will be done due to testing. But traditionally, if you see progress from one rarity step to the next up, you can expect anywhere probably from 6 to 12% increase just on base stat values.
Yeah.
That's something, again, that's going to be kind of tested and balanced out.
Okay.
But generally around that area.
It's good to
Yeah,
know.
it's like we want legendaries to feel unique, right? They're not just going to be stat bars, right? They're not going to just be a chunk of stats
Yeah.
that you get. We really want them to feel different than
Right.
items. They want them to feel legendary. So just keep that in mind.
All right.
Oh, I think this next question is a life in symmetry, and they wanted to know about taming. Will I be unable to tame a monster in the wild that has the same appearance as a cosmetic mount / pet?
Oh, so can you ride them? Oh, okay.
So, I mean, there's going to be a wide arcing range of tameable animals that exist in the wild. Some of those variants, from at least a cosmetic perspective, may be tameable. But essentially, when you kind of look at that taming system, this is going to be, again, another progression system that players are going to have to excel in order to have the ability to tame certain exotic creatures, of which might be those variants.
And when
Okay.
you're talking about cosmetics, you're not talking about the monthly cosmetics you're talking that are exclusive. You're talking about just general cosmetics. Correct?
Marketplace cosmetics, correct.
Okay, cool. Just want to
That
clarify
makes
because I
sense.
know people will ask
Yeah.
about that. All right, our next question is from Nostra about node advancement.
Okay.
When a node advances to stage 3, village, and enters the 21-day 21-day siege lockout period, what happens if it gains enough XP to advance further?
I guess it just probably gets locked, right?
During the siege period, stuff would lock down, right? So you
Yeah.
wouldn't-
No, so this is, I think, in regards to when a node advances, it's given a 21-day protection against declared sieges. So if it were to advance within that same period of time, then that protection would likely apply to the second stage advancement as well.
I don't think that's likely to happen, though.
Yeah, well, from village to town, maybe, but definitely not from town to city or city to metropolis, right?
That
Right.
makes sense.
But I mean, the idea, just to give context, the idea behind that is, right, there are new functionalities and mechanisms that come online when a node advances, and you want to provide both time for elected governments to take place, which then have
what?
direct
Government?
consequences and choices to be made over
What the
defensive
fuck?
capabilities.
I didn't agree to this.
And also provides time for that
God
node
damn it.
to collect and receive
Shit.
resources through taxation and or quests for its citizens to participate in, so that it has available treasury funds and or resources to allocate towards defensive structures and other types of defensive systems. So it would make sense that if there were to be an occurrence where a node advances within that window, that window is reset again for the new stage, because there are new correlating services and functions available.
Makes sense.
All right. And then we have Big Doof, or Bidoof, Bidoof.
Big doof.
I think I know
And
who
they
that
want to
is.
know about gear. Will there be gear for artisans that boost their ability to craft / gather stronger items?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Awesome.
answer.
That's exactly what I
Stealth
want to
Reborn
hear.
wants to know about currency. Will there be a currency cap limit, or are we free to hoard as much as we like?
I think generally there should not be a cap on
I don't
currency.
think.
Okay,
it might,
good.
Well,
I mean,
That's
it might be
cool.
an
technically, I
unachievable
think
cap.
there is one, but
Yeah,
there's only so many numbers we can hold in a
right.
variable. But like that, we're not going to have an artificial one.
Yeah, I mean, from a practical standpoint, on what characters are legitimately capable of achieving, there won't be a cap in that regard.
Kanansta wants to know about looting. If I die as a green example from a mob or by fall damage, is my tombstone immediately lootable by other players, or will I have a window to recover it?
Oh,
it
so
would
like
be
yeah, if you
immediately
die,
lootable.
I see what they're asking. Yeah.
It's hardcore, man. Don't die.
Yeah,
I
don't
mean, you're not
fucking
going to drop
die.
your completed gear unless you're corrupt, right? It's going to be a portion of your collected gatherables. But
Okay. That makes sense.
speaking of dying, did you have an opportunity to take a look at the
Losing your gear is a
the
little much to
direction
me.
of those effects? Or maybe we'll show that
Oh,
next month.
they look
Yeah.
awesome.
They
look
do look
awesome.
so- I wonder if there's a way I can send it to you, Margaret. We can show it just as like an impromptu.
Yeah, if you toss it to me, I don't know which.
Jeff,
team-
do you know
I don't
where
if
it
it's
is?
a channel that I'm.
I
have
think it's in
access to.
design. Let me check.
Yeah, see if you
Okay.
can find it and just throw her the link and she can grab it. But to give you guys an idea, right, behind death and kind of the reason for why respawning occurs, right? As you guys know, the avatar
Oh, is this
of
the
goddess
lore
of
in the
creation is
game?
the Phoenix, right? And the Phoenix
Yeah,
obviously
they've
has
talked
some,
about this before.
some very staple mythological.
I think that's cool. The lore I do think matters.
Lore.
The
to
lore
it with
definitely
regards
matters.
To, the cycle of life and death and rebirth.
Yeah,
and
just
that
like
type of thing.
Shadowlands.
As you enter into the world of Vera, you are in a way empowered with the spark of life that comes from the goddess of creation herself, and in that sense, you're able to house a portion of what that represents in your soul, in the conduit to the essence. And we're now, Jim and the awesome effects team right now are working on actually putting in place the real death effects and rebirth
That's cool.
animation and effects. And part of that
Emphasis
is
on the
on
re.
death, your body disintegrates into ash. And leaves behind a pile of ash, which
What the
will
fuck?
incorporate some of that material loss that people are talking about. But that'll be the interactable.
What the fuck?
Is that pile of ash, and then when you're reborn,
Oh, so you're like
this-
sifting through people's ashes to
Yeah.
find out.
God damn.
You have to have like
Yes.
stuff sticking out of the ashes then.
Oh no, it's already, the first pass is looking great.
Okay. I didn't
and
see
it's
this.
it's gonna start looking better and
I
better.
just linked it to you.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll take it and prep it.
That's
But
kind
yeah,
of cool.
it's
I
gonna
like
be
that.
fun, I think, on the battlefield, as like people are if you're engaged in some type of like giant raid against a
Yeah.
boss or in some PvP fight or whatever, you're just gonna see people as they take
That's the
their final
ashes,
hit
where they
point
say
damage
ashes in
just start
creation.
to fall to the ground and disintegrate, and smoke will just fly away. Oh, here we go.
That's like the
Yes.
reminds me of the Thanos snap.
And that
force.
smoke effect is going to be touched up, but the disintegration and the pile of ash that's
Killed
left
boss, by the
behind
way.
is just going to be
Yeah,
it's
this is
going
the
to
first
look
pass.
really
Kill
good.
his
This
little
is
That's
fucking
first,
cool.
this is
bitch
literally
Jim wants
ass.
everybody to
fast.
know this is first pass.
Yeah.
Poor Jim
Poor
is like, why are
Jim.
you showing this?
He's like,
That
no,
reminds me
I keep
of
putting the
of like
folder
Dark
for a
Souls in a way.
reason.
Like whenever I see that, it reminds me a lot of Dark
Yeah,
Souls.
I try not to.
I think
obviously,
that's
like,
cool.
We let the artists kind of decide what they think is ready to share with
Yes.
people.
And you can see
Because
this level he's
they wanna
in
be
is
proud.
his special effects level. So
Yeah.
ignore everything that's happening behind him.
We should have a little chat box that comes above the head of the character upon death that says, "I don't feel so good."
Yes, yes. The end of
It looks
Infinity
great.
War, exactly.
That looks
Crossover
awesome.
time.
Good job, Jim.
Fuck.
All right, I'm gonna move on to the next question here, which is from Takualian or Takalian. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
Okay.
Back attacks. Are there plans for back attacks to deal bonus damage?
Oh, they
like
have
for
this in Black
rogues or anything
Desert.
Like that?
Yeah.
I think we might have talked about something similar
A
to
back
this in the
attack does more
past.
damage.
Some abilities will. Rogues generally will have more of these than others, but we're going to be playing around with it. We can pretty much do contextual, positional abilities from any direction. So you'll probably see some flanking stuff. You'll see some back stuff. You might see some even frontal attack stuff, maybe for the tank or something along those lines.
I like positional combat
And
styles.
of course, we have another
Yeah,
question
yeah,
here
I
from
agree. I like that a lot,
Nixel,
too.
which is about player stats. Will there be a limit/soft cap for stats, or could I theoretically achieve something like 100% critical hit or block chance?
Oh.
There will for
Yeah,
sure
that'd be
diminishing
badass.
returns on certain stats. Yeah, go ahead.
And most stats are contested,
sense.
which means you're kind of testing your rating versus other people's ratings. So you kind of figure out what the end result is that, but we're not going to go for like hard caps for sure.
That's good.
All right. Do we have time for some bonus questions, or
Ooh.
you?
Yeah, we can take some bonus questions.
Okay,
Some
we've got
bonus
a few
questions,
here.
all right.
Toast is lovely and added some more here for me. So we have Neurotoxin, who wants to know about questing. Will all quests given by NPCs stay static as long as the node remains at the same level, or will there be other conditions that might change their quests?
There will be a
can
Uh-oh.
be.
yeah.
Uh-oh.
It kind
Uh-oh.
of depends, right? Like, so for example, like if a particular node stays at a certain stage, but neighboring nodes begin to advance.
Yeah.
Those can have interactables with certain quest lines that that one node, if it stays the same level, might change certain location destinations. It might add additional quest hooks. You might see population changes that occur around some of the points of interest that are, being delegated to it. Additionally, there might be even longer, more seasonal components that take into account kind of community direction in more organizational quest lines, right? And that could change some of those as well. You might see achievements like downing certain world bosses affect quest
That'd be cool.
lines that aren't necessarily
Yeah, that would
tied to the
definitely look
advancement of
cool.
the node. So there's a lot that goes into kind of making these quests
that.
quote unquote dynamic and responsive to kind of what happens in the world, and not the vast majority of it
Metagamers
is
will
tied to
ruin
quests
this.
to
True.
node progression. But
True.
there are certain elements that are tied to other
I can't
types
wait.
of events and
I
achievements.
can't
in
wait
the
to ruin this game. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, there's a ton of
Super
interaction
excited
in,
for
in
it.
the game, and so like a question like that's almost hard to answer, because the answer is probably going to be yes, and it's going to be like, to talk about it would have to be like more specific of a kind of question, like what kind of interaction are you speaking of, like what kind of behavior are you talking about, because it can be hard to nail down like what that means in that context, because the answer is almost always yes.
Yeah,
All right.
makes sense.
So it's a
Sounds
combination
good.
of
Makes sense.
depends. Yes, in some cases. In other cases, it
No.
might
Right.
not.
All right.
I love it. I like a good combination of quests that kind of can spawn, and then other ones where it's like, the projection path for it. So we have a Duck Frog wanting to know about auction houses. Will in-depth auction data be available, such as volume?
You guys want me to
moving
minimize so you guys can watch me do
price
KT?
history, etc.
Because they're not showing anything on the screen.
There will be some elements of that data available. It'll be presented through probably the
Okay, I'm
economic
gonna make it
nodes.
smaller.
There will probably have to be some
you go.
advancement that's made in the economic node for its auctions to kind of show that data. But generally,
Yeah, I think that's it's the
at a
best of
final
both.
stage.
Best of both
some of the
worlds.
auction houses will be able to kind of show that data. I'm not sure. it'll be
Someone's going to
delegated
make a
the Metropolis
spreadsheet.
A
amount.
bit smaller? Okay.
and
Yeah, we
there's-
talked about putting that
I
data
think that should be good.
behind a couple of different.
Because they're just replaying the same
service
video.
buildings, so that's
Yes.
that's probably how it's going to be surfaced. It's an opt-in, not necessarily. It doesn't come with the system. Your mayor is going to have to build it for you.
Okay.
All right.
That's fine to me.
Have faith in your mayor that they will build the right buildings for you. Our next question is from Hakaiju, and it is about gear. Will I be able to raise the level of requirement for my gear? Example, upgrading a level 45 weapon to a level 50 weapon.
No, there isn't itemization.
Yeah, that
progression
seems like
in
a
that
bad
manner.
idea. Seems like a
The
very
items
bad
are very
idea.
much crafted on an individual basis and don't really have upgrade potential. There's a deconstruction system that can aid in crafting additional items
Salvaging.
in the future, I guess,
Makes
in that
sense.
sense, perhaps. But really, you're then destroying that item for its components and parts in order to incorporate in another recipe.
Maybe I should pull some of these. Oh, shit!
So you don't really push a particular item's level requirement or the identity of that item. You can enhance it, you can add enchantments to it, but it's still the item it is.
But if you like the look of that item, would you be able to put that look on another one?
A transmog.
Oh, like transmog?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we have we're going
Okay,
to have
cool.
appearance systems in place that are similar to that, where you can apply the appearance of certain items on top of the items you're using.
So maybe
But I
that will
thought
still
that
get you what
question
you
was
wanted
really-
there,
Oh, okay, got it,
Hakaiju.
yeah.
I was just trying to help him
For sure.
get to what it seemed like they wanted.
Yeah,
Like,
that
maybe
makes
they really
sense.
liked the level 45 look of the weapon, but they obviously want the level 50 weapon because it's more powerful.
It does more damage.
Okay, cool.
Imagine
and
that.
Xylus or Zillus or Axilus, Axils, wants to know about node government. Actually, our next two questions are both about node government.
I don't think transmog's
Will
bad, guys.
the winner of a
I really don't
military
think it
node's
is.
arena combat, node's arena combat automatically become a mayor, or will they be able to designate another player as mayor?
So can you
they
get
win the
carried to
combat,
mayor?
but they're like the champion for somebody else. That's
Yeah,
kinda cool.
exactly. That's his
is pretty
important
cool.
question for me. Yeah, can you get
That would
carried
be
to
a- that would be
mayor?
a change in direction. We kind of wanted the people who, like, again, this is not a political kind of node. This is a node of power. And,
It's a war node.
Kind of brute force, right? And
For
so we wanted to
Genghis
represent
Khans.
that in the government. So somebody, having a champion is kind of a political move, right?
Yeah.
And it's about who your friends are and who you know and how much you can pay somebody.
Yeah.
And we really wanted it to be like who the most powerful person, that person's the person on top.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, looks like you guys
are
gonna have to carry me to the gear too. Then shit.
No,
That's a lot. That's a lot of work for y'all.
Our last question here
That's
is
a
from
lot.
Haxon, and they want to know: will the service-oriented quest that determine a defined node's leadership be more group-focused or solo-focused?
This is service oriented
This
for
is-
the divine nodes.
Yes.
Yeah, this would be individual
Yeah.
focused.
Because again, remember, it's the points that you get, because you are the one who is running for mayor. It's not a council.
That's good.
Which
Yeah,
is not to say
I was
you couldn't
hoping. I'm glad. I
necessarily,
was
like,
worried
guess
that
you
it was
could
gonna have to
maybe
be a
employ
vote.
somebody
Thank
that,
God it won't be.
in some weird circumstances, but
I like
it's meant
this.
to be solo.
Yeah, I mean,
It seems
I guess
completely tyrannical.
technically you
Completely
can invite
tyrannical, and I
friends
love it.
to assist you, right?
It's exactly what I wanted.
In like, I guess, kill content related devotion tasks, but generally most of those devotion oriented tasks in the divine node are going to be on an individual basis and couldn't utilize outside support. But like Jeff said, the focus on that is your personal contribution.
Perfect. And that's going to wrap it up for our March development update. We hope that you all enjoyed hanging out with us and RPing together. And Toast is always sharing stuff too. And like Steven said,
Idiot.
Oh my
So
God.
please don't troll that.
If they
As
give
for
us
phylactery, there are norms on it. Let me pull those up.
Okay.
Man, no, that's
Please,
good.
please,
okay with
please
you.
give me the
No,
fucking
that's fine.
minutes.
I thought we
Alright.
were using the adjusted
So I'm
sheet.
just saying this right now, Rob. I am going to trade this to you. You can create your
Yeah.
character. Do not equip it. Sure you do
No,
not equip
absolutely
it.
not. Can I do that too?
Yeah.
Yes, that's fine.
Wait,
I've
that's
never seen this
insane.
back.
Wait, are you trading him Menethil and he's copying his
Oh, give
character?
Grayson a Soul
Yeah.
Seeker to
Yeah.
copy.
Yeah.
He needs it for the beta too.
I'm taking
that's
Might
the
of
one.
Mythil. I'm gonna copy it over to fucking beta.
I'll just win it, boy.
I'm copying it over
Okay.
to
Oh, you
beta.
can do that.
Okay, the fuck? Okay, good. Asmon cheating, that's true. So... Oh man. There it is, dude. There it is. Fuck yeah, man. So yeah, anyway, let's talk a little bit about the Ashes of Creation stuff and get into some of that. What did you guys think about the news? What did you guys think? I thought it was all right. I mean, it wasn't like there was nothing like crazy that they announced today. Like realistically, there wasn't. It was just more or less a development update, and it's exactly what you'd expect out of a development update. They talked about the development, they gave us an update on it. There were no new crazy things announced or anything. It wasn't expecting much. Yeah, it was good. And that's about it. Yeah, it was good. And I thought the bear running was cool. Yeah, the bear thing was cool. Some other stuff was cool. Obviously, the combat in Ashes of Creation does have a long way to go. And it's going to take them quite a while to really kind of make the combat as good as it's supposed to be. But that's going to take a long time. And at the end of the day, as long as they're receptive to listening to people's feedback and taking that feedback seriously, then I consider it a good thing. That's how I look at it. Yeah, I think that's a good thing. I'm happy about it. At least they're being honest with us. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing is with WoW, like one thing that WoW has a problem with is that the feedback doesn't get taken seriously and it doesn't get listened to. For example, there's tons of things that people want in the game that don't happen. And if there were actual things that were happening in the game that people were glad about, then it would be totally different in like 5 different ways. But the feedback takes too long to go from feedback into change. And a smaller development company might have a better ability to do that. So the Ashes of Creation devs being accepting of that and willing to do that, I think is a good thing. I definitely do. I'm a big fan of that. Fixed combat or the game will be dead before the release date. Yeah, there's some things like the combat, like the numbers in the game, like whenever the numbers pop up, it's like hard to read them because of how oversaturated the colors are. There's like small things like that that do absolutely need to get fixed, and they absolutely need to change. But other than that, it's not the end of the world. I think everything else is all right, and that's where I'm at. That's what I think they need to do. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and chill and head off, and I'll be back on tomorrow morning. I just wanted to do this quick stream on my second channel and record myself doing the, my first, what's the word for it? My first impressions with the game and with the thing, live reaction.